If it is football, I mean, we are halfway into the game. In politics, we're talking defections. The floodgates of politics is officially opened because right now there are tons of defections. I'm not even sure I can get hold of defections that have been happening in the last few months. And there is still going to be more defections just before the year runs up, because by this time next year, every single political party would have known who their candidate would be for the elections in 2027. Yes. So the elections are actually first quarter of 2027. That's in February. So the challenge you're having now is not something that is different from what we've always seen. Just before it is halfway into the administration, you're already seeing people defecting and people not defecting. So to help us make sense of these defections and counter defections and the implications for Nigeria's democracy is Dr. Augustine Okoli. Augustine, thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you for having me, Charles. Welcome to a new day.
Indeed, it's a new day. A new day indeed, but I'm not sure. Is it a new day for politics? Of course not. We've seen, defections like this happen in the past, but not to this scale. What's happening? Is it the tenacity, the strength, the ability of the Jagaban in play, or you think differently?
Well, I want to say today that the journalists or even the people on the streets can call what is going on in the political field defections. I can call it crop rotation.
Crop rotation?
Crop rotation or nomadism for those who are into animal husbandry. Nomadic behavior, that is moving from one place to the other. Or as a farmer, when you rotate, you know the reason why you do crop rotation. When you think that this particular farm state is no longer yielding enough of your crops, then you rotate and go to another plot, only to come back in the next 4 or 5 cropping season. So I think what they are doing is not even defection, because when you defect, it looks like a near perfect situation. That is, when you move from conservatism to liberal, then it means that you no longer like what those liberalism or conservatism portends. So you defect, and when you defect, it becomes permanent. But if you come to Nigeria, you can see that it's crop rotation in the political, what I see. I see crop people moving from one side to the other. If I begin to mention names, now it will look like I'm, attacking people or that I'm putting them on the spot. But if you clearly see them, you can see somebody who is part of the foundational members of a political party. Most especially when they started, it is the military that handed over in 1999. So PDP was like the military party. If you look at the owners of the party, the board of trustees and those who funded the party, and those they gave tickets, including those who came out from the prison, they were all military men. But today, politicians are crawling up and coming out from the creeks and crevices to come and take over. And they have now adopted this crop rotation. You can call it defection. No, there's no pun intended. But you can see that aptly my crop rotation description also fits the bill. Now, most politicians, is not a case of ideology. The movement is not a case of performance, because it is ironic and even troubling that somebody is leaving PDP or Labour or SDP and going to APC that everybody is complaining of not returning the expected political dividends of security, of welfare, of proper planning, and also curing corruption. We thought that if they are doing any of these, then if you are moving there, you say, yes, I am moving to APC because they have come to tame the corruption with which they have accused PDP of indulging in, or that their economic reforms is working such that PDP's own did not work, or PRP's or SDP's. So I am moving towards, because I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. But it is neither this or that. You can even imagine a former vice presidential candidate who the other day was campaigning and telling us all sorts of stories about a coalition, or the one they call rainbow of coat of many colors. Mm-hmm. That was what how APC was described, talking about new PDP, APGA, APP, CPC, coming together to just serve the purpose of removing those in government and filling the gap. After all those campaigns, talking to us with megaphones, on radio, on social media, on television, only to come back and say, I want to link up with the powers that be, so that my people will get the required national connection. As if to say, Constitution did not safeguard the distribution of wealth, the allocation of resources, and it is when you become a member of the political party. Of course, like the corruption, they say, if you come to our party, all your sins are forgiven. So you can also scrutinize those who are moving and check their background. You can also know where the current Senate president was coming from. He was a former governor of Akwa Ibom State for 8 years under PDP. He was also the minority leader at the Senate under the PDP. Suddenly he abandoned the function of a minority leader who is supposed to be an alternative government. So you can see what I'm seeing, that it is crop rotation. It is not even defection. It is a nomadism, moving from north to south, where there is mangrove, where there is water to feed the animals.
What for you is a role that Jagaban, his personality, is
well, if you connect Jagaban to the movement, you see that the first president from 1999 was a military man. Okay? Now, the second president, Umaru Yar'Adua, was a brother to a former chief of staff to Obasanjo, a military man. He did not go for that position. It was given to him. Remember, Umaru, are you dead? How he was given ticket, and how the rumor that even before the campaign, somebody was campaigning for him while he was getting treatment somewhere, and later his demise in the position. So you can see that it was that accidental, presidential candidate. Then the third person, Jonathan, was also not prepared for presidency. It was just handed over to him from vice president, from deputy governor to vice presidential candidate, to handing over and all the ruku business that happened. And he now came, and how he quickly and hurriedly abandoned the ship with the story of a Democrat. You see, power is like a buffet. You don't allow people to serve you, and when you get it, you don't release it. But I think Jonathan has a different meaning and philosophy. Now, the other person that came was also a military man. Remember the Buhari Idiagbon 1983 coup and government to 2005, Babangida, and so on. So you can see that when I say it was the military that ushered in, including the constitution that we are still denying that is not properly Nigerian made. It's not the people's constitution. People are saying, please let us retouch and give this constitution our stamp of authority, of making it, and agreeing to be our own. But they are still neither here nor there. So now come Jagaban. Jagaban is the first politician, the political breed, apart from being former governor of Lagos State. You can remember the formation of AD, the founding of AD, the first three political parties of PDP, APP, and AD. In fact, I can now describe him as the first politician to have aspired and gotten to the position of the presidency. So all the nuances, all the abracadabra, all the technicalities, he has them in abundance. So, and now that between 1999 and 2024 or 23, you can see that people have entered the pool, people have entered the swamp, and have been tainted one way or the other in terms of corruption, the cesspool of corruption. So what they now want is to drain the swamp. So when you are shown your card, your report card, then you will quickly want to go to the party that will forgive you. Because I think that is official symbol of APC. Come to our party, hear you politicians.
When you say report card, is it?
What kind of performance?
Are you saying that is the same thing that happened with Delta State governor?
Yes, I will link what is happening and what has happened in Delta State, where the people of Delta State was seen to have been with PDP. The whole local government was PDP. The whole chairman was PDP. All the members of the state assembly was PDP. All the members of the National Assembly was PDP. All the governors that have been, all the National Assembly members coming out from Delta State were PDP. So tell me how come overnight everybody were prepared to, like nomadism and crop rotation, now decided to go and farm in APC vineyards and now make reasons why they are doing that, including the sitting governor, who the other day was campaigning under the umbrella of PDP. So for me, initially I was troubled, I was perturbed, but I can say that there's no clean line between APC and PDP. There's no ideology. So even when they say the third force, that's when Labour came, it was not Labour per se. The Nigerians needed something different from PDP and APC. And that is what it looked like. But at the end of the day, you can see that there's a thin line that divided. So when you cross over from parlor to room, from room to parlor, APC to PDP, PDP to back to APC, it continues, the game goes. It's like a pendulum. And tomorrow I will not be surprised, like the former Senate President Saraki moved from PDP to APC, and from APC back to PDP. So, and they now ask him to now go and reconcile the warring, those who are having conflict and issues. So it makes it difficult for him to condemn anybody, having moved and come back and came back from PDP to APC and APC back to PDP. So someone was saying, we are doing what we did, so why are you not happy that we moved? Including the Minister of Works now, who was the chairman and deputy chairman of PDP in Ebonyi State. He was the deputy governor in Ebonyi State. He was governor of Ebonyi State under PDP. And now suddenly moved with all the structure to, I will tell you the implications of somebody in PDP, for instance, moving to APC and coming back or staying there because of AGIP. He wants to be any government in power. He wants to identify and stay with them. Maybe if APC loses tomorrow and Labour or PDP or SDP wins tomorrow, the Express, the second Niger bridge, is also there for him to move back to the government in power. So you can see that it's a cesspool. Corruption is underneath there, because if your hands are clean, if you belong to a party that will have conviction, a party that will truly believe in their loyalty, you can see somebody who is in PDP as governor, returned governor in PDP, and his minister in APC. So one leg in PDP and trying to change structures or delay PDP until when he's ready. When the presidential ticket comes to the south, then he will now abandon ship and come and contest. So you can see that it's like an amorphous situation of there's no clean line between those in power and those in opposition party.
The Delta State governor is the one that is shocking me, and I really don't understand it. If you say corruption is around that issue, I mean, so many people have said that maybe it was Okowa who, made this move because of 1 trillion naira corruption issue that he has with EFCC, and then he was able to muster the strength of asking the sitting governor to defect to the APC. Then I wonder, I mean, there's the same thing that's happening at the federal level. If you are saying that you are scared that the government of the day is going to come after you, I mean, you would leave at the time that this government will leave. 2027 is around the corner, and you're going to go to, ask for a re-election. So, and 2031 is that this government under Tinubu would leave by 2031, if at all it wins 2027. So, what is the underlying issue and the reasons why he would want to sacrifice that goodwill from the people and then give it to APC?
Well, like you didn't understand my description of crop rotation. Why people do crop rotation? I will explain. There is no logic. There is no reasoning, plausible logic, as to why the governor is moving to APC. But when you know that governors do not operate alone, like the former governor, Okolie, was working, this was the speaker. This is the legislative head, arm of government of Delta State. You understand? So it takes two to tango. He knows that if Okolie goes down, that he want to clutch some straws, and who he will call begin to talk about legislation that enabled him to commit whatever or whatever not, because you see, they say they are seen as innocent until they are convicted. That's what the law of Nigeria says, that one is that who alleges have to prove, and two, these are doctrines of law, that you are seen as innocent until a competent court of jurisdiction says that you are guilty. So we are not saying that they are guilty of corruption. We are only saying that maybe out of fear of allegation or dragging up and down, because the former IG of police have also seen that anybody can be dragged for corruption. And even the former chairman of ICPC and what is it, the other one, EFCC. That you can still be dragged immediately you leave power. And you quickly, I don't want to talk about the National Security Advisor, who was the chairman of EFCC, and who says that the current president, who is now his National Security Advisor, is one of those that's on top 3 of corrupt former governors. And now he says he didn't say that. So you can see that it is self-help, self-preservation that is guided. So there's no logic as to why the Delta State governor, the incumbent and the former, should move. It is just self-preservation, stomach reasoning, infrastructure, or stomach thinking. No, it can be stripped of all the things you think you have if you go through the proper scrutiny. Because whatever you
as
have,
a governor,
as a former governor, if they try you, of course they will be waiting for you. The other one that is running was a governor then, but now he's running up and down, looking for another farm to do cropping, either intercropping or monoculture. I'm talking like an agriculturist, not like it. I hope you're not surprised.
No, I like it.
Yeah,
I like
so
it really.
you can see that they want to go to a new farmyard to farm, and in any government in power. So AGIP is the acronym for any government in power. I don't want to be in opposition. I want to be in a ruling party to safeguard the ones I have gotten. So because if you don't safeguard, if for instance, like when Buhari was coming, the campaign was that, the man anti-corruption czar, that if he comes in, and that was when that statement by Oshomole, was the chairman of APC, was made, and he didn't rebuke him. So you can see that nobody is Idiagbon. Tunde Idiagbon is gone. And that you can see those who are fighting corruption, not those people perceive we are fighting corruption. So today, if you go to APC, your sins are forgiven. Somebody contested for Senate president, and they told him, look, if you don't contest for this Senate president, this your EFCC case will now die. But if you continue to contest for this Senate president, we might try you, and you can see what happened to Senator Okaro was contesting for Senate president, and he was given to, he was tried and jailed. He went to prison, and they also brought him out. So you can see that he can go to prison. So you have to be careful. Have you heard Senator Okaro talking again? Senator Okaro, they want even to give him chairman of a committee. Becomes an uphill task. So Nigeria has been reduced in quality, in quantity, in moral. So the movement that is going on that you call defection, whether it is the governor of Rivers State now, who they have asked his niece to touch ground, who have come down from his high white horse and is crawling and begging so that they can put him back. And remember, if he goes back now, he'll go back straight to APC.
Yeah.
So you can see, if you open your eyes, and they can also see Southeast governors, Southeast caucus saying that, oh, if you don't give us secretary of the party, we will I'll leave your party. So the members of the party are also giving the national leadership of PDP conditions under which they will continue to work with them in PDP.
Umahi has also said something this morning.
Umahi
said all Southeast governors are supposed to support
so
him.
they are talking.
Is it true?
Is it true that Umahi said it, or is it true
is it true that the Southeast governors are supporting?
I don't know, but you can look at their body language and see whether they are supporting or not. Until election, some will promise 25%, some will promise 50%, some will promise, please deliver me and I will deliver you. So if they continue to be in the party. So whether it is Labour or PDP members, some people are shouting, becoming afraid of one party system, but I'm not afraid of one party system because I know that the ruling party will be the first party, then the rest who are not the ruling party, even if it is PRP and SDP, they will become opposition party. And some APC men are also leaving because they say heat lost in physics is equal to heat gained. And the volume of a material in physics is equal to the weight of, in case of immersing a solid object into a cup of or bucket of water. It will displace the quantity or the materials or the grammage of the amount of water that leaves. So like if this cup now, if you drop, you fill it half brim with water, if you drop an equivalent weight, it will displace an equal number of weight of water. So they say heat gain is heat loss.
Right.
And the amount of weight will displace an equal volume of water in a given. So if they enter, members of PDP and those who are rushing to APC, the APC people will also talking about data state. You can see that the former Deputy Senate President is also threatening to leave APC if the incoming governor snatches and takes over the structures.
So as that's what it is. The APC has already announced that he's going to be the leader of the party.
That is in the news. That is what they will tell you. But inside them, just watch what is going on there, because like I mentioned, that heat lost is a natural law. It will be equal to heat gained.
Right.
So some of them, if you leave, they will fill the gap. For instance, if Enugu State Governor, for instance, I'm not saying that Enugu State Governor wants to go to APC. If he goes to APC, certainly he will not work with Ugochukwu Agbara, the APC chairman and his own.
So he's going to come with his own people.
So if you come and take over the structure of APC, and those in APC that are displaced, will leave. You can see what I mean by crop rotation and displacement. So that is what will happen.
Where is the place of the North in all of this? Because the North hasn't moved an inch. Nobody in the state has said they are supporting
that is a very intelligent question you have asked. I've told them that the North are better politicians. Now, the North are not like the South. And the North has the 4 aces. The North has 19 states that are intact. Forget about these clashes of farmers and heads. Not one North, one destiny. The South has 17 states, 17 governors. The other one have 19, and claim they have more population. They only need some few southern renegades to support them, like when Buhari came and had a handshake across River Benue, not River Niger now, and he now got president. So all they are watching is whether the East and Southwest will work. And you know that they will not work. The Southwest and Southeast will not work. So the North are watching. And if they succeed and see that the Southwest and Southeast are trying to mingle, then they can now take their decision. If they go to SDP or PRP, they will take over power. Yes. That is what I want to say. That is what I observe. They will take over power. Immediately they say, this is where we are going. And you see how Shagari came. Amidst Nnamdi Azikiwe and Awolowo in the fray in 1979. They brought Shagari, who was going to the Senate. So it was not about the quality of candidate or the popularity of the candidate. It's about one North, one ideology, one vision, and one North. So if after all these things that are going, if all the southern people that are jumping into APC, the North are not jumping into APC, the North are leaving. Yes, because CPC, where Buhari the main North man, their main man, that is why the former governor of Kaduna State, before he left, before he started coming publicly to say that, look, I am leaving, these people are not addressing issues. They are no longer holding party meetings for 2 years. It's like a company and the CEO and chairman, and everything is about Southwest. You can see there's other woman saying that every policy and reform and appointment that's going on now is all about Lagos and Southwest. So even some Southwest people are not happy about, because they know the implication of but their main man knows that, or thinks that he will use the power of money, the power of patronage to bring everybody to win. That's why they are worried now. They are leaving worries between Obi. They are now targeting Atiku, because Atiku leading El-Rufai and some other northern elites. One day they will say, look, we are joining SDP. Even the governors in APC in the north will leave APC, and it will happen suddenly.
You think so? Like
an earthquake. And they will now see that it is 17 versus 19 states. We are saying, I'm speaking like this because it is no longer the votes that counts, that decides, not the people. If it is the people, then it can become uncertain. But today it is the governor that says whether we will give 25% of our vote. Remember how they write?
No, but it's not nearly impossible.
They write results.
The reason why I say it's nearly impossible is because in 2023, there was a Peter Obi phenomenon. Peter Obi won 12 states, including FCT. The governors in those states were not Labour Party. They would have said, okay, let's write it. Only for, maybe you could say, Rivers, if at all you want to argue that. So it's not the same thing that the governors would Peter, agree.
From what I saw, Peter won the entire election. They just wanted to allocate so that it looked like, and to manage the crisis management.
So the governors couldn't have written
they knew
the election results.
It is a collaboration. That's why even Lagos people did not protest when Lagos was taken. When you have the whole, why do you choose the parts? That's what the British people told Gowon when he was shouting Araba in 1967. He wants to go to the north. He took the flag to Kaduna, and they said, return to Lagos. Why are you choosing a part when you have the whole? And Gowon came back. So what I'm telling you is that what is going to happen is that they knew that they would rise or give FCT to Obi, give Lagos to Obi, but Obi will come third. That is what they did. And now they knew that Atiku will come before Obi, so that Obi will not be so vociferous in fighting for the mandate. Because when you are third, you are initially demoralized that, oh, even if I fight, this person in second might even inherit the looty booty. So, but the truth is that
just wrap it up. We have just 2 to 3 minutes.
Yes, the North are watching, keenly watching and monitoring. And when they now, because that's why their people use radio a lot. That even those in the South will travel back to the North to go and vote. They register, and they register twice. So the Southern people will think that these people who are selling sugar cane and all this, when the election comes, they will all go back to the North. The truth is that, talking about 2023, they decided to write it that way and defend it to Supreme Court. Because when it comes to get to Supreme Court, there's no other place you will appeal to. That was why. So, but what will change the system, what will be the game changer, is if electoral reforms, if truly the people decides through vote, if INEC wakes up to their responsibility. Of course, you know who pays the piper, dictates it. So who is appointing INEC? Who is appointing members of the national, members of INEC, and even the resident electoral commissioner? This is the president. He's even appointing the members of Supreme Court. The one PDP has appointed have all retired and expired. So the people in Supreme Court now and the appeal court were appointed by the current APC, but before 2027, most of them, because before you get there, you have few years to retire. So my calculation might not, join together for you now, but in 2026, you will see the number of Supreme Court members who have retired and those who have been appointed by the current administration. So you can see what happened. You know why Onoge, the Supreme Court CJN, was removed, and how things turned after. And later they apologized and said, don't go to court again. We are going to pay you for illegal removal. And that was how it ended, because they wanted to put Buhari there. So tomorrow, so if elections should decide, if the people's will should decide, If INEC should wake up and let us be democratic using demography, numbers, then we can now talk about whether the people will now vote or not. But if they want to continue with their old ways, which Tinubu factor,
right.
because he knows how to, he knows that we are hungry, and they know that if you throw, corn, where you have hungry chicken around, they will always congregate and agree to take the corn. So just like in a swimming pool, in a pool of, where they are growing fish, if you draw feeds, you see how all of them will rush and take. So people are blaming those who are taking 5,000 a bag of rice and keke napep and so on. They say, give us that one, let us chop today. It is all about stomach. It's all about pecuniary interest.
Right.
It's all about prebenda politics. It's all about being in government at any point in time. Because I don't want to mention those who have lived all their lives, making all the money they made only through politics.
Right.
They don't have any company, they have no farm, they have not worked anywhere before, but they are millionaires. So you can imagine how we came to this pass.
Doctor, we have to leave it there because of time. Dr. Augustine Okoli is a public affairs analyst and a politician himself. I'm sure that in due course we will know where he's going to head to, whether it's going to be with the APC or whether it's going to be with the PDP or Labour Party, as the case may be, as we build up to the 2027 elections. I mean, he's always going to be around for this because, again,
we are all watching.
It's going to be
we are watching.
Time.
We are studying the situation.
So we're back after the short break. Do stay with us.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.